Hey loves, it's Amber and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. Today we are here in cast to do a fun little challenge in celebration of Halloween and the release of The Sims 4 Life and Death. So today we're going to be giving the Grim Reaper a makeover that I believe he deserves. So as you can see, the Grim Reaper has a very distinct face. And I wanted to challenge myself to give him a makeover without actually changing any of the presets, except for his ears. I did change his ears just because I thought he should have cool ears, but otherwise I didn't want to change any of the presets. I will say that this is the original Grim Reaper. In the update that came prior to the Sims 4 Life and Death release, they did actually give Grim a makeover, but they basically just made him a clone of Sydney Porter and the whole Porter family. So I wanted to give him a little bit more of a distinct look. So I struggled a little bit, especially with his eyes, because as y'all know, I love a bug-eyed Sim more than most. Like it's my comfort area, but Grim took it a little far. The eyes were a little bit difficult and they ended up still being a kind of strange shape, but I went with it because I kind of like the idea of him having more distinct facial features. I can fall into a very same face syndrome type of sim, so I like the idea of doing something a little bit different. He does have like monolids, and I think he's cute. I like the way that he turned out in general. I will say that when I wanted to give makeup to him, I really couldn't because of his eye shape. It didn't go, but it's okay. The other thing that actually stopped me from making the Grim Reaper previously, I tried to do a makeover, is that I don't have a lot of like special eyes in my game, and I just felt like he needed some very distinct eyes, so I did have to download contacts so that I could give them to him. And then because I'd already made him over one time, I kind of knew this was the hair that I wanted to go with. I just think that it turned out really well. I just thought it was kind of cool. It gave like the vibe that I wanted to have for him. The other thing that I will say is that looking at his ears, you can see that for some reason, even with the ears he had previously, which is part of why I tried to change his ears, they have like a weird connection to the top of his head. It's almost like he has webbed ears, and I don't know if it's a glitch with this particular Grim Reaper or if he just does have webbed ears. It was a little bit weird, but I just kind of went with it because we're giving him the makeover, so might as well commit. So this is where I was trying out all my different like contacts and eye options, and I think these are basically the ones that I ended up going with because I didn't want them to be like reptilian or anything. I want them to have more of like a supernatural feel. Like I want him to feel like a otherworldly entity. I mean, after all, he is the Grim Reaper, so he's not just a regular sim. I also wanted him to be like pretty scarred, so I gave him tattoos and scars. I have a lot of like CC tattoos, but they're very kind of feminine, and so I struggled to figure out what was going to be good for him. Also, that tattoo I just put on his back, that first swatch was supposed to be black, but it just looked gray on him, which I don't know if it's because of his skin tone or what. He's not that dark, so I don't know why it didn't work, but it just didn't, so it was fine. I couldn't really figure out thematically what to do with his tattoos. It's just kind of something I struggle with when I can't use my CC tattoos. But I think these are all tattoos from Get to Work, so I thought that that worked well. Also, I wanted him to be hairy. I guess that maybe doesn't make sense because he's not technically living, so would he grow hair? But whatever, I thought it was cool. And then I gave him several scars from the werewolf pack. As for style, for his first everyday outfit, I just went ahead and gave him the Grim Reaper costume. It's not the same one that he actually wears. Like, this is one that I think your sim basically can wear if they want to dress up as Grim for, like, Halloween. But, you know, it was the closest we could get. And then style-wise, I really struggled. I kind of already did the makeover for Vlad, and I gave him like a creepy, cool sort of aesthetic, and I still ended up doing something pretty similar for the Grim Reaper. I like the idea of the Grim Reaper being cool, but his fashion is a little bit behind. So I did use a little bit of like content from the Realm of Magic pack. I think maybe a little bit from vampires, but I think I mostly did Realm of Magic. Then I also actually used a little bit of CC, or no, a little bit of stuff that we got from the rewards event, because I was like, oh, well, this is kind of perfect. So I was really struggling here. You can see me trying to decide what I wanted to do, if I wanted to give him like a super like goth kind of aesthetic. But for some reason that, I don't know, that doesn't really quite fit. I feel like the Grim Reaper's a little bit more mature, a little bit older. And so I wanted that to be reflected in his style. Like, technically he's, you know, ageless, but I just kind of assume he's been the Grim Reaper for a while. I know our Sims can become the Grim Reaper, but I'm assuming that this particular Sim has been the Grim Reaper for a while. And so his style is a little bit reflective of kind of everything he's been through in his initial time as a living Sim way back when. I did want to give him nail polish, so, you know, I did do that. He also has quite a bit of jewelry, so I do have his nose pierced, and he does have plugs, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I did also, I guess I missed when I gave him the makeup, but I did give him the lipstick that came with the vampire kit, because I love it, and I think it turned out really good on him. I do all of his outfits in this video. I will say that I don't think any of them took me quite as long as his everyday wear, just because I was trying to figure out what his aesthetic was at that point. And so, like, this outfit's from Realm of Magic, and I've never used it, and I think it's pretty cool. I wish it was a little bit darker, so I was kind of looking to see if I wanted to do something a little bit darker. But the vampire stuff just looked a little bit too, I don't know, a little bit too vampire-esque, I guess, for me. And this is, I think, when I realized that I could use those shoes that came with the new event. So that's kind of when I was, like, really locked in onto those as part of his aesthetic. And I think his full more turned out pretty good. I also realized that I think he would look cool with some rings, so I went ahead and added a couple rings from the Love Struck pack. Then for his athletic wear as well as his sleepwear, I wanted to dig into a little bit of a love theme. So the Grim Reaper does have a little bit of a fascination with love. So he wears, you know, some heart things for his sleepwear and his athletic wear. And I actually think that the Grim Reaper, at least one time in my game, kind of came in with like the heart boxers. So, you know, I decided to really go for it. So he has the heart boxers, but I actually ended up taking it a little bit further when I picked his outfit. Like, I thought this was cute, but it just felt a little bit generic. So I wanted to spice him up. So he's wearing these. I think it's kind of, I don't know. I just think it's funny. For his party wear, I almost just put him back in the same thing that he's wearing for his formal wear, but I was trying to push myself to try out as many different options as possible, especially when it comes to creating masculine frame sims. I struggle, and so putting together these outfits is always difficult for me. So I wanted to give myself a little bit of a challenge and give him something different for everything. His swimwear was easy. I just kind of went with something dark. And his hot weather is probably the thing I struggle the most with. And it probably doesn't make sense for hot weather. He is just wearing pants and like a long sleeve shirt. But I just feel like it went with his aesthetic. Also, if you've noticed throughout this video, the Grim Reaper actually does not have 3 traits, so you wouldn't be able to save him in cast. So before I finished this video, I had to give him some additional traits. So I did decide to make him gloomy, and practice makes perfect. I guess because in my mind I was like, well, you know, he's been working at being the Grim Reaper for a long time, and that's how he's perfected it. So that was kind of something I had to do. I'm really not sure if this Grim Reaper is going to work once I get life and death in my game. So when we do woohoo and, you know, try for baby with him, I'm probably gonna have to try to make that sim over, because I am doing this before I get the pack. So we'll see if that works, or if I can replace that Grim Reaper with this Grim Reaper so that we can have beautiful babies. But if not, we will just work with what we have. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope y'all are having a safe and happy Halloween. You're enjoying the new pack. If you are going to buy it, do let me know down below in the comments if you're planning to buy The Sims 4 Life and Death, or if you're going to wait until a sale to purchase it, or if you're just not interested. I'd love to know your thoughts about the new pack down below. But as absolutely always, I want to say thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, and I will see all you next time. Bye.